In 2025, global military spending has soared to a record-breaking $2.7 trillion, driven by geopolitical instability, technological innovation, and shifting global alliances. Behind this surge lies a powerful industry of defense contractors and military manufacturers, corporations whose profits thrive in times of war and preparation for war. And these budgets, they don't just disappear into thin air. They turn into contracts, missiles, aircraft, and surveillance systems. Today, we will reveal the top 20 companies profiting the most from global military spending in 2025. At number 20 is Israel Aerospace Industries, IAI. IAI is Israel's leading aerospace and defense company. In 2025, it reached $4.5 billion. IAI is known for its aero missile systems, Heron drones, and satellite tech. Number 19 is Elbit Systems, Israel. Elbit Systems is Israel's top defense electronics firm, earned $6.83 billion in 2024 arms revenue. Elbit Systems is Israel's largest private arms manufacturer. They supply the Israeli Defense Forces with advanced drones, targeting systems, and military-grade communications. But Elbit isn't just local. They export to over 30 countries, including the US, Brazil, and Australia. And their growing portfolio in AI-powered battlefield tech, it's positioning them for a very profitable future. At number 18 is Hanwha Aerospace, South Korea. Hanwha Aerospace is South Korea's largest defense firm. It posted $7.7 billion in arms revenue in 2024. Hanwha builds tanks, artillery, and propulsion systems, and its exports to NATO allies and the Middle East have skyrocketed. At number 17 is Huntington Ingalls Industries, USA. HII is America's premier military shipbuilder. With over $8.75 billion in defense revenue and $5.4 billion in new Navy contracts secured in 2025, it builds nuclear-powered aircraft carriers, submarines, and amphibious assault ships for U.S. maritime dominance. At number 16 is Thales Group, France. Thales is dominating in cybersecurity, space, and defense electronics, earned approximately $22.27 billion in defense revenue in 2024. It provides NATO with radar, electronic warfare, and satellite solutions. Thales continues expanding in AI and quantum tech for military use. At number 15, China State Shipbuilding Corporation, CSSC. CSSC builds much of China's naval power, including destroyers, submarines, and carriers. In 2024, CSSC reported an operating income of $10.81 billion, a 5% increase year-on-year. It plays a vital role in China's maritime assertiveness. CSSC continues expanding shipyard capacity to meet growing military demand. At number 14, China Aerospace Science and Industry Corporation, CASIC. CASIC posted $12.35 billion in arms revenue in 2023. It produces cruise and ballistic missiles, solidifying China's strategic strike capability. It also supports anti-satellite weapons and space defense tech. At number 13 is Leonardo, Italy. The defense revenue for 2024 was estimated to be $8.5 billion. Leonardo is Italy's defense crown jewel. Known for producing the AW101 helicopters, radar systems, and co-developing the Eurofighter Typhoon, they're essential to Europe's joint defense programs. In 2024, Leonardo signed new supply deals with Poland and Germany, cashing in on Europe's post-Ukraine rearmament push. At number 12 is Airbus Defence and Space Europe Airbus. Its arms revenue in 2024 was approximately $12.7 billion. Its A400M transport aircraft, satellites, and secure communications platforms serve NATO missions globally. 2025 saw rising demand for intelligence, surveillance, and reconnaissance, ISR, and space-based systems. At number 11 is L3 Harris Technologies, USA. L3 Harris 2024 arms revenue was $14.76 billion in 2024, and they project total revenue between $21.4 and $21.7 billion in 2025. The firm is a critical player in tactical communications, surveillance, avionics, and cyber systems. In early 2025, L3 Harris announced several new classified contracts with U.S. defense agencies. Its advanced electronic warfare systems are used widely by the U.S. and allied forces. At number 10 is China Electronics Technology Group Corporation, CETC. CETC posted $16.05 billion in arms revenue in 2023, continuing to grow as the digital backbone of China's People's Liberation Army. CETC manufactures cutting-edge radar, electronic warfare systems, missile guidance electronics, and cyber tools. The group plays a central role in China's push toward military AI, smart command systems, and quantum radar, key pillars of China's 2035 defense modernization strategy. At number 9, Norinco, China. Stockholm International Peace Research Institute, SIPRI, visualization indicates Norinco's 2024 arms revenue rose slightly to $21.13 billion, an increase of approximately plus 7% compared to 2023. Norinco serves both domestic and international markets, supplying over 40 countries across Asia, Africa, and Latin America. It plays a critical role in supporting China's Belt and Road military partnerships and remains a central figure in Beijing's defense industrial strategy. AVIC, Aviation Industry Corporation of China, earned $20.85 billion in 2023 defense revenue, solidifying its place as China's largest aerospace defense contractor. It produces the J-20 stealth fighter, transport planes, drones, and helicopter platforms. In 2025, AVIC expanded its global sales, especially in drone exports to the Middle East and Africa, and continues to lead China's efforts in building a self-reliant aviation sector. At number 7 is Rostec, Russia. In 2024, Rostec consolidated revenue exceeded $38 billion, driven by Russia's ongoing war activities and domestic rearmament. As Russia's state-owned defense conglomerate, Rostec manufactures everything from Kalashnikov rifles to Su-57 fighter jets, as well as advanced air defense systems like the S-400. Despite facing international sanctions, Rostec has increased exports through allies and proxy networks. At number 6 is BAE Systems, UK. BAE Systems generated $29.81 billion in defense revenue in 2023, with its order backlog exceeding $78 billion by early 2025. The company specializes in submarines, armored vehicles, cybersecurity, fighter aircraft, and naval systems. BAE Systems continues to benefit from a resurgence in NATO defense spending and new joint development programs with the U.S. and European allies. At number 5 is General Dynamics, USA. General Dynamics, GD, recorded $30.20 billion in 2023 arms revenue. It remains a foundational U.S. defense firm, producing Abrams tanks, Stryker vehicles, Virginia-class submarines, and secure defense IT systems. In the first quarter of 2025, GD reported stable revenue growth across its marine systems and combat divisions. At number 4, Boeing Defense, Space and Security, USA. Boeing's defense unit earned $31.10 billion in arms revenue for 2023. It produces the F-15X fighter, Apache and Chinook helicopters, space-based defense systems, and surveillance aircraft. In 2025, the division helped offset Boeing's continued commercial volatility. Strong orders from NATO allies and a push into space-based missile warning platforms have helped sustain growth. At number 3 is Northrop Grumman, USA. Northrop Grumman generated $35.57 billion in arms revenue in 2023, up nearly 6% year over year. The company leads in stealth bomber production, B-21 Raider, ICBM systems, and military space programs. In the first quarter of 2025, Northrop posted $9.5 billion in revenue and maintained a record $92.8 billion order backlog. At number 2 is RTX Corporation, USA, formerly Raytheon Technologies, earned $40.66 billion in arms revenue for 2023. It is the maker of Patriot missile systems, hypersonic weapons, radar systems, and advanced sensors. In the first quarter of 2025, revenue came in at $20.3 billion, with strong margins driven by classified programs and missile demand. At number 1 is Lockheed Martin, USA. Lockheed. Martin leads all global defense contractors with $60.81 billion in 2023 arms revenue. Best known for the F-35 stealth fighter jet, Aegis missile defense systems, and next-gen military satellites, Lockheed continues to dominate U.S. and allied procurement. In the first quarter of 2025, it posted $17.96 billion in revenue, with a massive $173 billion order backlog, underscoring its unmatched global reach. These 20 corporations dominate global defense procurement in 2025. Armed with multi-billion-dollar contracts, vast supply chains, and political clout, they profit where nations prepare for or engage in conflict. Which company surprised you the most? Or do you think there's one missing from this list? Drop your thoughts in the comments. If you found this breakdown eye-opening, hit that like button, subscribe to Money Dominion, and tap the bell icon.